Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm on like goblin energy right now, so I'm so sorry. I'm hyper. I had a cold brew. That's my excuse. Anyway, hey guys, what's up? My name's Christine. I'm one half of the Roomies Digest. If you're here, you know that we are doing the Talk for Throne of Glass. I'll hold up my water damage copy. Yep, that's right. I solemnly swear. But yeah, we're here to talk about Throne of Glass for the House of Mass-A-Long, which is this crazy, chaotic journey that we have all decided to go on. And some of us, partly way, perhaps could be convinced to go all the way. We'll see. But anywho, that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. So if you're in the comments and you've read the book.
Sorry, I just ate my hair. Don't mind me.
Just stop the live, everybody.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have said anything.
Honestly,
like,
I didn't
let me
know.
know.
It was like fully in my mouth.
Yeah, there's
I was about to like choke. We're good.
I'm glad you're not dead, so there's that. What was I saying? Oh, I was just gonna say if you're in the comments, if you're in the live, you've read the book, let us know what you rated it. And maybe share your favorite character. Why not? That's a fun icebreaker. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and we can all introduce ourselves. My lovely co-hosts here. Let's get going.
Hey. Hi, I'm Steph. I'm from Stephanie Bookish. This is my second time reading Throne of Glass, but not the whole series. I did not finish the whole series when I first read it.
Who's your favorite character, Steph?
Oh, Dorian.
I love Dorian too. Okay. Hit it, girls. Hit it, Fergie.
Who's next? Me? Okay.
Wow.
Hi. I'm Catherine from the channel Catherine Zofrey. I don't know. This is my first time reading this series. I've read all the other Sarah J. Maas books except for the second Crescent City one. So now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't read that many Sarah J. Maas books. But this is my first time reading this one. What else are we saying? My favorite character so far, probably what's her name? Nahima.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging her. I think she's interesting, which I'm sure we'll talk more about the characters later. What else am I saying? Is that it?
That's it.
You can say your rating if you want. Did you say that already, or did I?
I don't rate books, so
like how did you know?
My like general like feel of it is it's like it feels like a good start of something.
The start of something new.
Yeah, like I'm not. I don't have a ton of strong feelings about it, but it feels like a good start.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point and something that we will definitely get into.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Sarah from Sarah's Shelves.
Hey, fantasy reader.
This was also my first time which I was kind of shook by Catherine saying that like this was her first time. I thought I was the only one who was reading it for the first time.
We get to experience it together.
We truly do. My favorite character is Kale.
Yeah, that checks out.
That's why when you said Dorian, I was like, literally.
Well, no. Dorian's not my favorite character.
I mean, in this book,
I just like him.
Yeah, this book.
Yeah, I would say
no spoilers for future books.
Yeah, I was gonna say in this book it's Dorian and Nehemia, but like overall, that's not.
I mean, they named him Dorian for a reason. Like, he has the personality of an actual door.
That's so funny that you're saying that, because I feel as though the same can be said of Kale. He has the exact Exactly.
Personality.
Let us.
Yeah, he has the personality of a garnish.
Just add a
See,
little
okay, if I have to choose
oil on
between the two guys, I side with Sarah. I choose Kale.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Goodbye, you chaotic
Sorry.
people. Goodbye. Now, do they have a real connection in this book? We'll get into it. Okay, we'll talk about it because obviously there are
Mhm.
some red flags. But yeah,
For
so wait,
both.
oh, chaos. You know what I'm saying? His name's Kale, but it's really chaos. Anyway, but what did you rate it, Sarah?
Like a 3. Like maybe a low 3.
That's pretty good for you, I think.
For a fantasy book, yeah.
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 Yeah, because usually Sarah's like, I DNF this immediately.
Well, I wasn't gonna do that because we're discussing, but
Okay. Well, for me, my favorite character is Fleetfoot. So
Oh,
okay.
I
good,
mean,
good
yeah.
one.
F it up. But I actually I read this book partially on audio and partially physically. And I liked Selena a lot this time around. The first time I read it, she was annoying. I did not like her. But it must have been somehow because of the audiobook, because I think just the way she was performed, she was very funny to me this time. And I found myself like relating a lot more to her. Because the first time that I read it, I was like, oh, this 18-year-old is supposed to be like, this great assassin, and she's supposed to have gone through all this stuff, but like she's so nonchalant about things. And like, it just doesn't seem real. But this time around, I think also because I just finished Assassin's Blade this week too. I think because I had that background on her before reading this one, that helped as well. Because it's like now I know all the crap that she went through. And so it's just like, I feel like if she doesn't laugh, she's going to cry and maybe Loki kill herself because it's like horrible what she's had to go through. So it's interesting because I think, aren't you guys all doing the romantic reader way?
I read Assassin's Blade first before reading Throne of Glass.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so it's half and half.
Yeah, so that's good because I know we're not going to talk about Assassin's Blade like until after you guys read it.
Let me just say, I took extensive notes on Assassin's Blade.
Oh my god.
I said that. I was like vlogging for these ones for like, whatever, a video. And I was like, I feel like Assassin's Blade is the key to this whole entire series. Like if you go in and you're like line for line, like this is this, this is this, this is this. So like I said, we'll get into it later, but I feel the same, Sarah. I feel like I annotated that book. Like this one, I think I have like 4 annotations or something. But in Assassin's Blade, it's like all marked up. I felt like
I highlighted some things in my Kindle for this one.
Oh, did you
my
know?
Kindle app.
Not Gus.
I can highlight.
Also, I'm a highlighter.
Steph, can I say this like magical like beehive behind you looks like a portal, and I just keep staring at it and I love it.
Yeah, if you want to hop in, like let me know.
Yeah, sure. I'll be right over.
Wait, but what'd you rate it, Christine?
Oh, I rated it a 4. Officially, it's like somewhere between a 4 and a 4.5 because I was really digging it. But then the ending, I was like, ooh, it had to go YA wrap up. Like it had to go procedural. You know what I mean? And that's probably just in the fact that it was like her first book. So, she's like figuring out her writing style and things like that. But I really enjoyed it. I had a great time.
Have you read the entire Throne of Glass series before? Okay.
Yeah, which is why I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this as much, because when I read it, the only other time I read it is when they were coming out.
Right.
So, I mean, Assassin's Blade came out. When was that? That was a long time ago.
2012.
No,
Throne of Glass came out in 2012 for the first time.
And I think Assassin's Blade came out obviously like in the middle of everything. So 2012, yes, correct. So Throne of Glass came out a long time ago. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it because I remember not liking Selena the first time. She annoyed me. But this time I was like, okay, girl, you know, you've been through it. I can appreciate
Yeah.
the procedural that it is.
With Selena, I don't know if we'll go more into character stuff later, but yeah, she definitely has just those YA vibes.
Yeah.
I weirdly really liked that for this book, only because I feel like there is like so much heaviness that's going on in this book, and like obviously is going to continue on within the series. And I really liked those moments. I think that's why I like Dorian so much, is because there were so many moments with him and Nehemia where she felt like a teenager, and I was like, oh right, she's 18, like she's barely 18. Because that's my biggest problem with, like, I love Six of Crows, but they read like they're 30, 40-year-olds. And
oh yeah, they definitely read older.
Yeah, so even though there's like some unrealistic things, like she's the best assassin to ever, you know, assassin within Otterland, I liked that there was like a sense of innocence to it and immaturity, and that she reminded you that she was a teenager.
Yes, I agree. And there are moments in there where like she is, yes, a feared assassin. She's like good at her job, but it's not because she's like the strongest person, right? And we see that, obviously skipping to the end, but we see that when she's fighting Kane in the end, right? He's like beating the tar out of her, okay? He's getting in there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I think her strength is the fact that she's so smart and like cunning, if we want to give it like an assassin's kind of like, you know, word. But like, because she uses her brain, she's like, okay, like I'm not gonna beat him because I'm strong, but I can beat him if I'm like fast, or if I'm cutting him like where he's open, or like whatever. And so I think like that also too, not to like make it seem like she's more young, but it makes her seem more real and not as like YA invincible for like the 2010s, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I like Dorian because he's just a silly, goofy time. He's a funny guy, and like them getting together in this book is very much like, you know, you had like your first love, and then it's kind of like the next guy, and you're just like, this is fun. This is a fun time.
Yeah.
It's nothing serious, even though he's in love.
Which came out of nowhere. I'm sorry.
Like, came out of nowhere. We were like, what?
He's like, yeah, I'm like a playboy, and like this girl's cute, and then he's like, I am in love with her, and I would give up my throne for her, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking
She's like, I can't wait to tell my father, and she's like, huh?
Like, I think we need to see other people, but thanks so much.
She's like, okay, hold on now, buddy.
Meanwhile, she's looking at Kale, and she's like, he's got the most beautiful brown
yeah.
Like, they strangely look like my dog's eyes, but whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's not do the comparisons to the dog just yet. But yeah, before we get too far into it, I just want to say hey to everybody here. We're glad that you guys are here, and I love this.
So yesterday, I was like, oh shoot, I haven't started the book yet, and the live show is tonight. It wasn't, but
yeah, like yesterday.
In my brain.
I was like, do you think it was Sunday? Because I was just like, it's gonna be every Sunday, so I just like put it in my head.
I
that, like
have no idea. Like my days were all thrown off this week.
Catherine's in the screenshot of like the audio on 3 times speed, and all of us are like, okay, dude, like if you can.
I like had it on 3 times.
Like, are you just booked up all day tomorrow?
I have. Well, yesterday I was like, I had work, and I had to work the Jennifer L. Armentrout event, and I was like, I'm gonna be
just drop that little name drop, girl.
Me and Jen hung out yesterday. It's great. But so that I was like, oh my God, I need to finish this. And then I realized that I didn't have to finish it until today. And then I put it off until like 5 p.m. to finish like the last 2 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You wanted it fresh in your brain, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is the best way to read, you know. I was honestly kind of stressed. I was like, am I going to finish this book? But obviously I did, so.
Who needs to like sit there and like sit with your thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, F that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think I've spent a day with my thoughts for years. Just audiobook after audiobook after audiobook.
That is so real.
You're like, I actually never stop audiobooking. So
Oh,
going.
that felt like a call out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, of all the books to cram, I feel like this is probably the best one of the series, just because like I feel like stuff happens, but it's not like a crap ton of world building. You know what I mean? Like it's literally one location, really. You do have mentions of other places and like obviously the salt mines that she came from and stuff like that. But I think, you know, mainly they're in, you know, the Throne of Glass in this book. Not to throw
I didn't even realize the title of the, like, I did not put two and two together until I was watching somebody's like unhinged recap of Throne of Glass. And I was like, it all makes sense.
They're in a Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
They're in a castle of glass, and he
Yes.
sits on a throne of glass.
Well,
Yes.
like, I knew that there was a castle made of glass, but I was like not putting the two and two together. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the lore behind this is that it started out as a Cinderella retelling. So like the ball at the end and kind of like, you know, the masquerade, like it's all like kind of it's kind of how they say A Court of Thorns and Roses is like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And it's like, it's not really a retelling, it's just more
it
like
starts out like that, but then it just
yeah, you know, instead of a glass slipper, we're doing a glass house. We're doing a glass throne, you know, that kind of a thing. But yeah, this is just so funny to me. I love it so much.
Wait, but this, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
This gave me, speaking of like, you know, fairy tales-ish, I really was reminded of Alice in Wonderland and The Hunger Games reading this book. Like, both of those together.
Yes. Definitely Hunger Games with like the trials. It's like crazy that like every book we read now is going to be like when there are trials, we're like, oh yeah, Hunger Games, you know, like whatever. Because like that is like a trope that happened before Hunger Games, but obviously because we're all around the same-ish age and we read that book around, you know, it's like that's what we think of. But yeah, the Alice in Wonderland kind of like loopy doopiness, I think.
Like the Tim Burton one specifically.
Yes. Yeah, like
yeah.
Like looking monsters and
yes.
Honestly, this one was giving like ghost stories to me. You know what I mean? Like very like witchy kind of vibes, like especially with the word the like word like drawings and kind of like using that that magic but not magic. And I think that's such an interesting kind of thing to throw in here, because obviously we can get into the plot of this book and kind of like the storyline, but like in this world, magic has essentially been eradicated, right? It's been like exiled almost. So like magic has gone because the king of Ardalan has essentially ruled it to be you know, like heretics almost, like, right? Like sacrilegious, like that kind of a thing. And it's so interesting that that's kind of something that he is trying to control in this world, because you find out at the end of this book he's using the word marks, you know, to his advantage. And we don't know to what end yet, but like him and the Duke Parrington are doing something cuckoo. Okay,
which of course he is, because of course the king is a hypocrite. Like
yeah. Well, he wants all the power.
Yeah.
Right? And it's very interesting because this Throne of Glass is also built on top of these tombs that are the tombs of like the original rulers of this land, right? You know, like one Fae woman, and then also I believe like I don't know if he's Fae or if he's human. I never get this right, but like Gavin or Gallon, whatever his name is, the other guy, her husband. So like that's an interesting thing too, because obviously the king, he erected this throne on top of this land, right? Where he also built, you know, these gargoyles protecting this port that essentially can like put you into other realms and stuff. And so it's just like there's like lots of like very small world building here, like very, I think, particular to like this story, but I think it sets up a lot for the series going forward. So yeah, you know, it's very interesting having like no magic, but also you have word marks that aren't magic, but they work outside of magic.
Yeah, so it's like there is a magic system, but we don't really know what it is yet because magic has been outlawed. It's very much giving like BBC Merlin
Yes.
Did y'all? Yeah.
Yes. And what a show that was.
What a show.
I love that show. Okay. When they went down to talk to the dragon underneath the whole
so
castle.
good.
Like, woohoo! You are speaking my language. You know what I mean?
So good.
I love it. And also, like, there are these little things I feel like in this book that every kind of little thing, when we go farther and farther into the series, like it all means something later on. Like even down to like the not logos, but I guess like the mascots. I don't know what you would call it, but like how the kingdom is like the wyvern. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay, like these are like two-legged dragons basically. But then they talk about how there are these like four-legged dragons that are like in the wastes, you know, and like, you know, where is that coming from? So it'll be interesting to kind of see like what you guys as first-time readers catch on to, and then of course like Steph's rereading a few of them too. So yeah, it's just a lot. I feel like I was eating it up. I was like, nom 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 nom, you know, having a great time. So
I too was eating it up at 3 times speed.
At 3 times speed. You sure were. You sure were. I was laughing because Monique was reading this book and she was on audio too. So she would just be walking around the house and she'd be like, not the Fae. I didn't know there were Fae in this book. And then she'd be like, dragons? What? And it was just like everything, because like I told her it was kind of like a medieval sort of inspiration. And she'd be like, oh, okay, I can do that, yeah. And then she'd be like, what the heck? What the heck? So it was just so funny. Hello.
But also, don't laugh at me if I pronounce anything wrong, because I just read it like physically. So if I say something, I know in this copy there are like pronunciations at the end, but in this one there aren't.
Oh.
And I didn't know that until I watched somebody else's like spoiler vlog after I finished the book, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's at the very end." And I'm like, there wasn't one in this one.
That's weird that they don't have a pronunciation guide in the new ones.
Yeah.
I would not know how to pronounce anyone's name if I didn't listen to the audiobook. So
Oh, 100%. The first time I read this, there was a pronunciation guide and I didn't look at it at all. So I'm sitting over here calling her Selena the whole time. I'm like, oh yeah, Selena.
Yeah, that's
Selena
what I thought it was, because I'd only ever seen her name in like memes. I'd always been like, one day I'll read Thrown Glass because I want to understand all the memes.
Right. Right.
But I always said
like
Selena.
Akatar, because I used to call her name's like Feyre, right? Like Feyre. But like I would always just call her Fire. I'm like, her name's Fire. And that's her name. But this was like before like audiobooks and stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's like when it first came out. So anyway, I'm wrong. I know that. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, I read the audiobook, Sarah, and I still pronounce everything wrong, so it's fine. It's truly fine.
Same.
I gave Thrown Glass a 4 out of 5. My favorite character after reading it was probably Kale. Oh my gosh. See, I was about to do it. I was about to say Cole. His name is Kale. His name is Kale, everybody. Opinions have changed, though, since reading more. Dorian and Cole. Oh my God.
Well, so in the audiobook, she calls them Kale. So it's not like Kale, it's like Kale.
It's Kale.
Yeah, because you pronounce like the A and the O, but it's like not Kale. It's just like Kale.
Kale.
But you don't say Kale. Like,
yeah.
It honestly sounds very Southern, his name. Like Kale, you know? Like, I just let Kale. His name's Kale.
I'm about to raise some Kale.
I'm about to raise some Kale. But yeah, this is an interesting comment. Like Dorian and Kale are equally fine. I think they are so interesting, and we can kind of get into characters if we want to start here. But Dorian is like, you know, he's the prince of the palace, and he's very, you know, he's like the playboy. He's like the typical, like, you know, playboy Prince Charming, like, you know, F-boy type, right? Very classically handsome. And he's got a little bit of mystery to him. He's got these piercing blue eyes that apparently don't run in the family. Okay, so I'm not saying he's a bastard child, but something's going on there.
I'll say it.
Yeah, I'm like, suspicions.
No, but I like that because of something later on. I like that maybe he's not
Why? Because
You know,
his dad's a dick.
something in this book?
Yeah, it's something in this book. I
Oh,
haven't
just
read
say it.
Catherine's
Say it.
book.
Aren't we? Yeah, we're in spoilers already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're in
Yeah,
spoilers
yeah.
already, so like you can say it. If it happened in this book, it's fine.
Because like Selena might be related to Elena,
Right.
who is related to the like
Villiards
everybody.
the
yes.
king.
So like they would be incestuous.
related.
What in the Cassandra Clare is
That's
happening?
what I'm saying. So, like, the fact that he has those blue eyes that don't run the family, and there's like maybe a little bit.
Yes.
It makes me feel a little
Yes.
bit better about
Yes.
it because I'm like,
I
okay,
think
maybe
you
they're
are-
not
you
related at
are.
all.
You are
It's gonna
correct.
be
And
like,
there's
I'm your
photo
half
evidence
brother. I should
in the
want to
book.
protect you.
okay now they're not brother and sister. This is like a thousands of year olds, this bloodline.
You're like, it's
Um,
okay if they're like cousins twice removed.
They're far
No,
enough
no,
removed.
there's a reason why they didn't sleep together in this book, and I'm just gonna say it, okay? Like
Oh no.
But yeah, no, I think you're exactly correct. And it literally is in like the last pages of this book. If you guys all want to turn in your Bibles to page 400, it's actually this part where Selena is talking to Elena. And I really don't think that is funny, Sarah J. Maas. I don't think it's funny that you named her Selena and then you have Elena, who is her, great grandma. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Please. But then in the last paragraph of this page 400, she's talking to Elena and Elena bows her head. She says, blood ties can't be broken.
Yeah.
If the text is texting, the text is telling us that they're blood related. They are related. Okay. That's what that's telling me.
Mm-hmm.
So among, of course, other things, the woman has pale skin, light eyes, you know what I mean? Like it's all like giving Selena energy, right? So yeah, I think you're correct. I think Sarah J. Maas, if we know anything about her, she likes to give us a little red herring romance, RHR, if you will. And I think that was what was going on there in my humble
Yeah, I
opinion.
definitely don't trust that like anyone we already know is gonna be her end game. Like there's 7 books.
There are 7 books, and like I said, there are at least 50 main characters. So
Well, yeah, I'm like, I know everything I know about Throne of Glass from memes, and I'm like, I haven't seen half the characters that I know from
No.
memes.
Yeah,
so.
wait till book 3.
Yeah, a lot of them come a little bit later on.
Okay, but my current OTP is Nehemia and Selena, so
Okay. I mean, they truly are.
Yeah.
Going back to what I was saying, like about reading Assassin's Blade first, she alludes to this in the beginning of the book where she's like, I've had female friendships before and they've never gone right. You know what I mean? And you're like, dun, dun, dun. Like, obviously you don't know. like, what are you talking about, girly? Why are you so upset about girls? Girls should love girls. Girls shouldn't girl fight. And so like when she has this kind of like relationship with Nehemia, excuse me, it's like kind of nice to see because they're essentially bonding because they come upon each other in the hallway and Nehemia's like, why am I stuck with this a-hole Caltaine, Caitlin, whatever we want to call her. She's rude. She smells bad. She's uptight. I don't like her. And then of course, Selena's like talking to her in her own language. And then Nehemia's like, oh, so not everybody here is stupid. You're telling me that we can have some fun. We can talk about people and no one's going to know what we're saying because everyone else is uneducated. Love it. Let's do it. And so, of course, their bond, goes from there, like starts from there. But
she lied to her.
Huh?
They lied to each other.
Sarah, don't be like this. I know how you are.
But she lied to her. But I like how she was like, she lied to
other.
me about this, so she's gonna assassinate everybody at this ball. She's like
Well, she was at that
about knowing the
point, she was
language,
like
she's gonna
just
kill
so
everyone.
paranoid.
First of all, she was giving her the benefit of the doubt. She said she needed to gather more evidence. I remember that part. She said, I need to get more evidence before I confront her. So that's why she went to the ball, because she was like, if she's going to kill somebody, I could probably stop it. I don't know. I'm an assassin. I could But obviously we find out later that like the whole time Nehemia is saving her from the what is it called? The ricochet, the Ricka something.
Oh,
Anyway, the demon. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Which
The
I
demon with the
pictured
kneecaps.
the Bandersnatch from Alice in Wonderland as that creature.
Okay, so you had a very
I could see
specific
that.
image.
Mhm.
The only thing that stuck in my head about that thing was that the kneecaps were backwards. So I'm just picturing. It's honestly, I'm picturing the werewolf, Professor Lupin, low key. Like not to say,
Oh,
like low key, that's the body type. You know what I mean? But the things are backwards. Okay,
Yeah.
he's like hairless and gross, and he's not very cute. You know, that kind of a thing. But yeah, so we find out later she's using the word marks to save her the whole time. But that was also a red herring because, you know, obviously she thought Nehemia was trying to kill people. And I was like, really? You think your girl is over here scooping out people's innards and eating their brains and all? That's gross. No, I don't think so. Yeah, honestly, me too. Kale.
Kale.
Y'all already know. K-hole, kale.
K-hole.
That's right.
K-hole.
That's right. So anyway, Nehemia is so badass. I love how much she forces Selena to mature and confront her own fears. That's true too. I don't know how old she's supposed to be in this book, actually, Nehemia. So I'm assuming they're around the same age. They're all, you know, either late teens. I think she's the youngest, probably Selena is, but they're probably all early 20s, early to mid.
Yeah, because isn't Kale supposed to be like 24?
I think
20.
22. Yeah, he's 22 because he's 4 years older.
Okay.
He's 4 years older than her, and I think Dorian is 20.
He's 19.
19? Yeah, I was like, he's somewhere. They're around
when they're like talking about marriage, and he's like, I'm only 19.
Stomp my foot on the
Everyone's
ground.
like, you're already 19. You should be married already.
And we're all like,
well.
call me old maid.
And then he's like, I want to marry. The only good thing that I like about him was he was like, but I want to marry for love. And then Selena's like, you're dumb.
That was funny.
And that I think I like their dynamic because I think at the end of the day, Dorian is a romantic and Selena is a realist, okay? Because that's how her life has been. She has literally had to fight for every single thing she's gone through. Like from the moment her parents have died, she's like discovered by the king of the assassins. You know what I mean? It's very like, okay, I'll say it. It's a fairy tale, okay? They're doing a lot. She's doing a lot with the plot. But like she's gone through a lot.
I love there's a king of the assassins. There's a pirate king. There's a
pirate
regular
lord.
king.
I was like, okay.
Sorry, pirate lord.
It's just so funny. It's like when Sarah J. Maas was writing this book, she was like, let me put every single thing that I can think of, like the red deserts, the pirate lords, the king of the assassins. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is Aladdin, okay? Like whatever. But yeah, so
she's gonna use it all. You know that.
She put freaking. Anyway, I won't say that.
I did have to reference my map.
Said a spoiler, but like she does a lot. Okay, so she puts it all, and honestly, I like that. Okay, if you're gonna, go. You want me to enlarge you?
No, I'm just saying. Like I did reference this map multiple times because I'm not a fantasy reader, and like, you know, people I've seen the memes where they're like, oh cool, look, a map, and then they just like never reference it again. But me, every single time they like mentioned somebody was like coming from somewhere else, I was like, okay, where is that located?
Well, it's important to the plot because these well, maybe not plot, but to the world building, because these places do end up coming up later on. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, and you've already read the Assassin's Blade, Sarah, so I feel like you've even seen more than what Catherine would have seen, because I've read further than Catherine so far.
Which I think because I read Assassin's Blade first, that's why I don't like Dorian. Like if I would have started with this, I would have liked him more because I wouldn't have seen another
guy. Yeah.
I mean, they reference him in.
I was like, it's okay. We can say
Sam.
Like,
it's Sam.
Yeah, her one true love or whatever.
So like, Dorian has nothing on Sam. So
it's true, and that's why I think this is a very like it's not even love, but their dalliance. Okay, let's go into some vocab. Their dalliance together is very much. What'd you
I
say?
said, okay, SAT word.
It made me
It
blush.
sounded like me in my book club, my first second grade book club. I'm like, okay, let's do vocabulary, you guys.
That's right. Valiant. Vallian. Anyway, but yeah, so I think their thing is very much like it's a lustful kind of relationship, and it's fun, it's very carefree, and I think only because Dorian is, let's go here, Dorian is a golden retriever. Like he gives her a freaking golden retriever, okay? He gives her a dog.
And I think that's what she needed, right? I feel
Yes.
like she just got out of the salt mines. She's still very much has this open wound about Sam. She's still grieving. She's still kind of figuring herself out. And so Dorian is just this fun moment for her. Even I love Dorian, but even from the first book, I knew that that was never going to be something, just because it was like a reminder for us that, like, yeah, she's 18, he's 19, they're just having fun. And even though he is such a lover boy, it was what she kind of needed to sort of realize, like, hey, I can move on and it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
she had just gotten out of these salt mines, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
she
yeah,
needs
it
to be
very
a
much-
kid.
Yeah, and it was like the two of them, it's like, okay, we're in the same area together and we have like a mutual respect for each other, so let's like make out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it never felt like anything serious
Yeah.
between the two of them, which is why I was so taken aback when he's like, I'm in love with her. And I'm like,
Yeah.
He's a lover.
He gave me the ick the whole way through, and I was like, Kale.
He's a lover.
Dorian
Like,
never
I
gave
felt
me
more
the
chemistry
ick.
between them, like Kale and Selena hugging in that one scene. I literally tabbed it.
Oh my god, when they
rather than
reach
when
for
they
each
kissed
other.
for the first time, like her
Sarah.
and Dorian when they kiss. Like I felt more chemistry in a hug than a kiss.
But
can't
Sarah,
watch
like
it.
when she's like in the duel and like he reaches for her and she reaches for them, and I'm just like,
It was very like
saying.
practical magic when the
It
two
was so
sisters are
good.
reaching for each other in the witches' circle. Does anybody remember that part? I mean, I know you
Ooh,
watched
yes.
I just watched it too. But yeah, that's like what it was giving, that whole scene. It's like, get up, you know what I mean? Like you can do this, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I
which is
felt
why
like-
I was like, yes. When
Yes.
he's like, Selena, get up, and you're just like,
Yeah, and then she even says like
girl.
he actually tried to do something for me, whereas Dorian just sat there like an idiot.
And that, I think, I'm glad you said that, because I think that's in the book the moment when you realize Dorian's not her person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's not
But
her person. Not necessarily because like it's the end all be all, but it's just kind of like in that moment, like you need somebody that will step up to like
Yeah.
this plate. And like Selena's up here because she's doing all this stuff, and like, you know what I mean? And like she needs somebody who's gonna come up and meet her there, not
Right.
kind of like support her underneath kind of a thing.
And
Yeah.
I think going back to what I was saying before about Dorian very clearly not being her person and it being a fun thing, her and Kale wouldn't have like worked out in the beginning because he is a serious kind of guy. He's the type of guy that's like, we're going to be together and it's going to be serious and this isn't going to be just like fun and games. And you see that throughout like his character arc in general. He's very serious and he's very committed to things and what he believes in. And I don't think that they were ready for each other in that moment, especially
Right.
Selena.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's
Well,
and
and
that's they give different things, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Catherine. Sorry.
I'm excited to see, like, I'm hoping we get more of like Kale's backstory and like how he became captain of the guard at so young, but also has never killed anyone. That actually surprised me.
Yeah.
Like you're
Very
captain
interesting.
of the guard, but you've never weird.
They're
But
just
yeah,
not
so-
good, Catherine. Like no one ever comes around for them to kill.
I guess so.
I mean, obviously, and I
But,
think
like,
he was-
how do you become captain of the guard at like 20? Like he became captain of the guard at 20.
honestly probably because of nepotism. Let's be honest. It's probably 'cause he's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Well, so but like I don't know his like backstory at all.
Yeah.
I don't know his
so-
life.
well, all
I
we
don't
know
know
is
his
that
life.
he was gonna be basically the heir to his father's, estate, and then he gave that up because he loved being like a guard
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
You do get to see that more in Crown of Midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's important too because Nehemia is saying the whole time, she's like, you are a soldier. Like you are
Mhm.
part of the king's army, blah blah. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like I think that scene is so important to his character. Like he is not a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like it bothers him. Like he
Oh,
doesn't
for
want to be a
sure.
killer. And so the whole time, like she's like, you're a soldier. Like you kill people for the king, blah blah. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not a soldier. I'm a guard. I guard. Like I'm a protector. I am a
Mhm.
protector of the people I love. And granted, if somebody's gonna F my people, okay, I'll slit their throat. But like I don't want to. Like I really don't want to. Don't make me do it. But I
Yeah,
will, you know?
he's a very like honor bound, like
Yes. By the book,
serious. Yeah.
rules,
Which
serious.
yeah, and then at the beginning, like he just has that inherent distrust for Selena because she's an assassin, so it makes sense that like they are still kind of feeling each other at the beginning.
I just live for the little, like, you know, they pick at each other, right? And then it's like a little smile is on his lips or whatever. It gives me life. Like I was loving that so much more.
I feel like they both had good chemistry though. Like I feel like Dorian and her had a good back and forth because I was like tabbing their conversation. Like they had a real good, like he would literally, what was the one thing he said?
I like that he gave her books to read. That was cute.
And he would say things like they would pick at each other and he would be like, give me that, you demon woman. And like they'd throw books at each other. I was like, demon woman, say it again.
I love when characters can match each other's humor.
Yes.
That's a huge thing for me is when like there's two characters and one is really funny and the other one is giving nothing. It's like
that's why I don't like Kale, because I think like, you say a joke and he's just like,
and I love my men like that. What about it?
Bro, breathe, please. God.
Well, it's like it's two very different energies where it's like, okay, Selena and Dorian, they flirt and they banter back and forth, and like not to bring Shadow and Bone into this, but very much is giving.
How long's it been? 40 minutes?
I was timing it, yes.
But it very much is giving like Nikolai and Alina, like very much like that sort of thing where they like match each other's energy and they have this like good banter, but you don't see it from there. But then like with Selena and Dorian, it's very like she like picks at him and he like will be silent, but then he'll say like one remark and she'll be like, oh wait, that's actually funny.
They're very, it's so, I feel like their characters are literally so transparent to who they are. Like going to this scene, that scene with the candy, Dorian is the guy who's going to give her candy. He's going to give her the dog. He's going to make her happy with like these little things that he knows like brings her joy. Whereas Kale is the one who's like, I'm gonna get you a ring, baby girl. I'm gonna get you a ring, and we gonna be together.
We're gonna have babies. We're gonna have a future.
Yeah, we're gonna have a family. And I think in both instances, I think Selena doesn't want either of those things. Like she even says by the end of this book when she's breaking up with Dorian, who's like, I'm gonna introduce you to my daddy. I'm gonna let my mom know. The list is off. The wedding's off. Like we are gonna be together forever. Page 395 if anybody wants to reference their journals. It's this whole
the Bible,
the study Bible,
or our study Bible, our key of sorts. But she's saying this whole thing about freedom, right? And at the end of the day, she's like, I've never been free. I'm saying I don't want to think about options with you. Like I don't even want, I'm 18. I don't want to think about that crap. I'm trying to live my life. I almost got beat the hell up by Kane. Okay. He's crazy. And then, she says, I'm saying that in 4 years, I'm going to be free. And I've never been free in my entire life. And I want to know what that feels like. And, she's like, but I'd like to remain your friend. And I like that because I think they all have like a good chemistry together. Like this is a core friend group. You know what I mean? Like we have the start of something new here. I'm loving it. I love a found family, like, cause that's essentially what this is. Whether she dates, whoever down the line.
Literally was about to be like Dorian is best friend energy.
Right. Yes.
Can I just say that scene happened right after she hugged Kale? So, like, I'm not saying it was the catalyst for that conversation,
Okay.
But I'm not saying that.
Okay, you're missing the point, which the word is free. The
Yeah,
word
I know. I annotated that part. Okay. I don't want to
At
talk
least
about
we're
it. But
all
I'm
like
saying,
on the same page. At least we're on the same page. But I think that's like the perfect summary. Like Sarah J. Maas really wanted us to get that from this book. It's like she has literally come from the salt mines. You know what I'm saying? She's got literal, you know, whip scars on her back. You know, scrubbed with salt.
Mhm.
They're not nice in the salt mines. Shocker. And
I
she
mean,
just
but,
wants to be free.
yeah, but even previously to that, Arabin was like basically
same.
holding her as
Yep.
indentured as well. So it's like she's literally never known freedom since being a child, basically.
Yep. And that's true. This is very much, I was feeling this. Like they're around the same age. They're just like, you know, effing with each other. She's throwing apples at his face. Like I like this energy. Like I like what's going on. And like me knowing where everything goes like later, I just like love, I think that's why I love this series. Cause like all the characters are so fun. Anyway, this is such a funny part to have this back and forth, this kind of like love triangle happening. Hello Amal, how are you? But yeah, it's very much Dorian is an angel baby, deserves all the happiness in the world. He's one of my favorite characters in Throne of Glass. I agree. And it goes back to kind of like him seeing her scars on her back, and he's like, whoa, what are those? What are those? You know? Yeah,
Well,
wow. And
like
it's like him.
As he like has something going on, like there's something more that he's planning too, it seems, in terms of like his relationship with his father.
It's very
like
interesting,
especially with like him seeing the scars and being like, my dad did that. Like that's
Dorian is not typical, right? In that he knows what's wrong and right, but he's still in that like how do you say, like he's still in that like I'm a prince energy. Like he still has that entitlement. So like he hasn't quite gotten like checked yet, I think. Like obviously him seeing the scars, he's like, whoa, that's what the salt mines are like. And it's like, yes, this is on the back of an 18-year-old young girl who was like so starved when you got her. She wasn't even having her period. You know what I mean? Like say what it is. And that's like what they're doing to her. They're doing that to like all these like so-called like heretics or like whatever you want to call them. And this is what your dad is doing. So I think it's like the beginning of him kind of like really seeing with his own eyes, like I don't live, you know, to put it in better words, I don't live in a glass house anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's shattered. And yeah, I think that's why I really like his character, because he starts out as kind of like not a buffoon, but like he doesn't really understand. And his character arc is to kind of be that, you know, like I get there eventually kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Dorian's character arc. Like I don't dislike him as a character. I like him very much as a character. I just don't like him with Selena.
And like I said, I think they both give different things.
Yeah.
Like, Cale is definitely going to be like going through his own thing, I think, because he has killed someone for the first time. And you know, Selena is like, I know what that feels like. Like I've killed somebody before. So I think that being at the end of this book, like clearly kind of that's going to be something they help each other with going forward. But yeah,
I agree with Cammie. I do. So it may have come off that I don't like Cale, but I actually do. I call myself a Cale apologist, but I don't want him with Selena. That's my
yes.
Yeah.
He is. I don't hate him. I don't think I hate any of the characters really. Not even Caltaine.
I know she has such an interesting like situation.
Yeah, so let's talk about her. Okay, she's smoking opium. Okay, that's clear.
Yeah,
that's find out.
And like she's clearly addicted.
How old is Parrington? I was very confused about
Parrington
that.
is old. He's
That's
old.
what I thought. Okay.
He's like 50s, probably like mid 50s, I think. And so obviously she comes to the court because of Parrington. She gets invited. That's like his boo, his bae. But we realize later on, and this is something interesting of like kind of what Catherine said. She was like, something's going on with Dorian. I don't really quite know what it is. And I think that's a very important thing to kind of talk about, to kind of hone in on, because we figure out that the king is controlling people with these word marks. So we've got Cain, who is physically being controlled. He's literally leveling up every person he kills because he is taking their like life energy. Then we've got Caltaine, who is getting her brain essentially like mind controlled, right? And it's interesting that like they can kind of see her thoughts and like her intentions when they are controlling her. Does that make sense? Like he figured out her deception because of the way that they're using the word marks and things like that. And so then the last thing that they say, Duke Parrington and the king, is that, you know, we need to combine the two and try and do like a double experimentation. What's everybody laughing at?
Sorry, I'm laughing because I keep catching myself like on the screen, and I'm just like, I'm listening so intently that I look so pissed off because I'm like sitting here like, I'm just really trying. I'm really listening and taking it all in. But like, I look so mad, and so I just catch myself every couple of minutes just looking like.
I was like, my food in my teeth or something. What's going on?
Really concentrated. That's okay. Anyways,
I was just laughing at Mo saying, "Oh, Caltaine doesn't just vanish."
Yeah. Honestly, like I try and figure out. I'm trying to remember what happens to her, and I really cannot remember what happens to her.
Well,
so
I'm like, she must come back. She's like a POV character, which I didn't understand why she was a POV character in this book.
I mean, I guess it must be to kind of reveal, you know, the control, like that she is like smoking, you know, opium. I can't remember why she's doing that. But maybe it's because they're making her. I'm not sure. So that she's like addicted to this substance and like associating it with but you know, the only other thing I was saying is they're basically saying they want to control somebody like fully, and so I think it's interesting that like this king is so crazy that like what's to stop him from doing it, you know, to his own son or like whoever, to Selena, to some, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the vibe I was getting, is that like they are experimenting with things. Like that's why he set this whole thing up in general, and that's why Caltaine was there. I felt like it was a way for him to experiment before he like goes forth with this larger plan, which is not, I'm not spoiling anything for later. That's just what my initial thoughts were, because I actually don't remember. I only read up to Queen of Shadows when I read it the first time, and then I didn't finish it because the rest of the series wasn't out. And I actually don't remember anything about
the word marks and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a question about these trials or this competition. Was like I kept on getting confused if like the general population of the palace knew that this competition was being held, or if this was like being held in secret. Like
I don't remember.
I know what's going on, because
I actually don't think that the palace knows. And the only reason I think that is because she's presented to the court as like Lillian. Oh my God, what's her Gordina? I was like, what's her last name? Gordita? I was like, what is it? Yeah, I was like, Gordita Crunch from Taco Bell. But yeah, so she's presented to the court, and like they see her face, they know what she looks like. So I think if they had seen her, you know, in this battle, like obviously the other contenders know she's a jewel thief, like whatever, but I don't think the rest of the court knows this is going on.
Yeah, that was the thing that was like really weird and confusing to me, and I feel like wasn't well presented. Was like they're having these trials, and like all these like criminals are there at this palace, and like the general population of the palace doesn't know, but then they're having these like big competitions, and then like sometimes it would seem like people would know, and then sometimes it would seem like she comes to ball and people are like, who's this girl? And everyone's like confused who she is, except for the people who like in the competition, they're like, we know who she is. I don't know. I felt like that was like a really weak point.
I think like the other kind of thing supporting that, the only other thing I can think of is Nehemiah's like, where do you go at night? Like, where do you go?
Well,
I don't think it was open because she would have seen it. But if she does see it, I guess at the end, because she's there to like save her.
Yeah,
so, like,
that was the thing. Like her and Caltaine, like they don't know, but then they do know.
Right.
At the end, they're like randomly brought in, and it's never really explained why suddenly they get to be a part of it.
It made me think on Nehemiah's end. I don't know about Caltaine. It made me think on Nehemiah's end that she actually knew what was going on, but she wanted to lead Selena there to tell her, you know, her identity and to tell her what was going on because she wants her to trust enough. You know, they're like weird dynamic of like, I'm not fully telling you the truth about these little things. But it felt like it was an opening of a door to be like, hey, do you trust me enough to tell me this thing that I kind of already know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she was already putting the word marks on under her bed. So it made me like think it was just her trying to get it out of Selena.
Yeah. But then she's just randomly kind of brought in for the very last trial. So
yeah. And honestly, that could have just been because the king was like, because they said that he had brought it outside randomly. Like she was like, why is it going to be outside? It's still cold. And they were like, oh, he randomly did that. You know what I mean? So he could have honestly have just last minute been like, we're having a competition. Everybody get on out there. You know, like, let's go see some people fight. Like Lillian the jewel thief is going to be out there. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, that is one point that I was like, huh. I don't.
But then it was also like, why would you want everyone to know who your personal assassin is?
Right, exactly.
Like, that seems stupid to let the general population know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I think that was probably maybe like a plot hole. I'm not really sure, but I do know that probably one of the most interesting parts of this book for me with the world building, kind of like the magic system, is the portal. It's like the thing that the gargoyles are all protecting, right? It's all like connected to like the word markings and like the magic there. And the fact that like the king knows that that's there, like he specifically has built this shrine essentially to like, you know, kind of like contain this portal. I thought everything, like I was reading about that, like I was annotating so many just little like info, like important info things about that. Because like you learn from Nehemia that like you can open portals to the other world, but like the portals only stay open for a few minutes or like a few seconds, whatever. It takes like an immense amount of energy. You know, Selena passes the king in the hallway and she's like, I feel like a dark energy or like an otherworldly dead energy from him. And I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't understand it. And then of course later on we find out that like Nehemia can see kind of like this word mark on Selena. And we're all like, okay, well, what's going on? Is this a protection spell? What is this? You know, where'd she come from? Or her family members, like word, you know, workers? Who knows? And then, of course, we figure out later, too, that, like, Nehemia's whole family knows how to do the word magic. And she's like, I'm not telling anybody because y'all will smite me on sight. But, you know, it's like, I feel like all of this is intertwined, interconnected. And that kind of like fever dream she has when she's on the poison, like in that final battle scene, that's interesting to me because of course she's seeing a different world, like a nether world of sorts, like a demon world, a spirit world, whatever you want to call it. But like I think that portal, that place is really important because it can open up, it literally says in there, it's like multiple worlds.
Which I have a question about that scene in particular.
Which one?
Could Cain see too? Like what she was seeing?
In the end, I think because he had taken in that power and he was using the word markings, yes. I would say yes.
Okay.
But yeah, if anybody is keeping up in the book, it's on page 380. That the one part that I annotated, it just says, "Is it possible to go to these other worlds?" As in plural. Was that Gus? He was like, "Mom!"
I was muted earlier. He wouldn't stop talking.
He's like, "Hello, feed me."
Sometimes I'm allowed.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I'm allowed.
I love that song so much. But yeah, so obviously Sarah J. Maas set up a lot in this book that, you know, hopefully comes to fruition as we keep going. But yeah, lots of things to think about.
I want to know, since Sarah and Catherine haven't read it before, what are y'all's like predictions for some of our characters?
I mean, okay, so like clearly Selena has magic and is like part fae. Like that's I don't know. Like she said so many things and I'm like, okay, so you have some sort of memory loss thing. You're like clearly like part fae or like have some sort of magic. So that's my prediction for her.
Sarah Boo.
You guys can't confirm or deny.
I have absolutely zero predictions, but I'm just gonna throw out something. I feel like Selena is or has, no, I guess it would be is. No, has a doppelganger.
Okay.
That's my only prediction.
Wait, why do you think that?
Yeah, why do you think that?
No reason at all. I'm just throwing it out there.
There's literally no reason. You're just like, I'm just like,
I keep picturing, it makes no sense, but like I have to pull from other things as reference. So I keep like putting Kale as Damon from Vampire Diaries, and then Stefan is very much Dorian, right? So I'm just like, I'm thinking Vampire Diaries, and like Catherine and Elena.
I'm very much thinking Shadow and Bone. So, you know.
Okay.
Well, earlier when you were like, not to bring Shadow and Bone into this, I was like, not to bring Credence into this, but but there was no like perfect segue for me to insert that. Because like Kale, like he doesn't say much, and neither did.
No.
Please, he is not your man. Please, he is not your man, Sarah.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm thinking like Dorian I feel like is going to go through a similar journey to like Nikolai and Shadow and Bone, where he has like kind of this like, yeah, I know things are wrong and I want to do something to like help people, but I don't know where. And then he's going to get like some sort of like reality check and maybe like go through some trauma, and then he'll like still have that like laughing.
It's truly just the way you're saying it. Yeah, it's just the way. Yeah, like bro's gonna go through some trauma. And, like,
there's 7 books.
No,
because there's like 7 books. If these characters don't go through trauma, it's gonna be so boring.
It's already started.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of these characters are gonna live. Like, that's what I think. Except for Selena. Like, she's gonna be the only person.
No,
because we have so many books to get through. I feel like it's like Grey's Anatomy, right? You know, you just gotta cycle through all the characters. Like, there are so many of them. And then it's just like, you add ones, you like execute some.
I don't know any of the characters we've met so far are gonna die. Like, I don't know if I'm predicting any of them dying.
Oh, Dorian's gonna die.
But
okay.
You think Dorian's gonna die?
Dorian's gonna die.
I don't think Dorian's gonna die.
She's trying to manifest something.
No,
we're all going through heartbreak by the end of this.
I want him to go through like trauma, but like find someone like not Selena in the end.
No one is safe.
Don't
I want him to find his lady love, right?
And then like
he's so happy, and then just die.
Stop.
That's what I want.
Get out.
That's what I want.
I could neither confirm nor deny. But I will say,
just
there
from
is
Christine and Steph's reaction and like some of the comments about Kale, I'm like, he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna go get a little unhinged at some point and have to find his way back to the people. That's my prediction for him. Yeah, I agree though.
No, but
Monique
also
is-
like Nehemia giving her another name. I'm like, why does she literally have 3 names now? That's another thing about my doppelganger theory that I just thought of.
Wait,
Oh,
what
the
other-
NT,
yeah, wait, what?
That's
Yeah.
a nickname. I think that's a nickname in Elwayan. I don't know if that's right.
But she's like,
But I
I'm just
think
gonna
it's
give
like-
you this name because, like, you know.
Well, they're friends now. You know
But
what I
then
mean?
it
Like
totally negates what was happening in Assassin's Blade. It totally negates the most powerful part of that book.
okay.
Is what
We'll
I'm
talk
saying.
about that.
Wait, what negates it?
You haven't read it
I
yet.
don't know.
But
Okay.
we'll talk about it when we get to it. But keep
Yeah.
your notes, Sarah. Keep your notes. Write this down right now at minute 105. This is what we need to come back to.
I'm
Okay.
already so excited to
I
discuss
think-
the rest of the series.
Yeah, like we're getting excited. I think it's exactly what you said, Catherine. Like it is the beginning of a very good start.
Yeah, like my general feeling of the book is that like it's fine. Like I don't feel like it's anything special. If I had like read it back in 2012 and then was expected to continue on with the series, I probably wouldn't like maybe. But knowing that there are like 7 more books, like I feel like okay, this is a good start and like a good basis. This feels like episode 1, you know?
Yes.
Where you're meeting the characters.
Mhm.
You like are starting to get like hints of backstory, but you don't really know that much backstory. But this is to make you like get to know people and get to know the world.
Yes.
And
In
then
like a not very info dumpy way, I
Well,
think.
everyone says
Yeah.
that the first 2 books are all like exposition, and then you get into like actual plot in the 3rd book.
It's funny because I feel like I have that unpopular opinion. I love the second book. Even rereading.
Yeah.
I've already read the first 3 and Assassin's Blade for our read along. And I still love
oh, you already read? Oh my god!
She's speeding through.
Jeez.
I picked him up and I was like, oh yeah, gotta keep going.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking to
That's
our
kinda how I
schedule.
But like honestly, I get what you're saying. Like I don't know. I know there's a lot of hate for like the next 2 books, I think. And then everybody kind of like loves book 4, but like I kind of like them all, so it'll be, or I remember liking them all. I don't remember hating book 2. So it will be interesting to see kind of like where we all land with that one, because is it a filler book or is it, you know what I mean? Like obviously Steph
Yeah.
said she likes it the best. So and Katie's saying the second book is insane.
Oh god.
Jess was saying the
Well,
second book was really good. Like I
they
remember
were
it being good.
I was just really nervous like reading this because I mean you could debate all day what actual plot is, but like I felt like nothing was really happening until past the 200-page mark, which is like already halfway through this book. So I
Yeah.
was just like, is the second book going to be the same thing, but
Right.
like it's
I
a little bit
mean,
longer?
Yeah, yes, they're similar in
Writing style.
size. Yeah, they're similar in how, I mean, I've heard the argument that people said the first and the second book should have been put together. But I don't know. I feel like the second book
Oh.
really is the catalyst to where this series is going. You find out a lot of information in that second book that I feel like if they would have combined book 1 and 2, it would have been a lot for a first book.
Yeah. I think this is like, it's like Catherine was saying, she's saying episode 1, like I'm like, this is literally a season of TV. Like the end of this one was like the literal last page where she's like talking to Kale or whatever, like that like last line she says, I was like, that is the end of the show, like for season 1, you know what I mean? It's just like so perfect.
Oh, I don't even think it's season 1. I feel like it's episode like this is pilot episode.
You're like,
Nothing happened.
this is not well. This is not well.
I
Well,
like,
stuff
I
happened. They
just-
learned stuff. They fought some
Can
demons.
I make a
You
complaint?
can.
Yes.
If you're going to have a whole book where like so much of the premise is like competition, why are we skipping half of
The
the
competition.
trials?
Yeah.
Like, we see maybe 3 trials, and the
Mhm.
rest, it's like, oh yeah, and then we did like 3 more competitions, and like 5 other people died.
Yeah.
That happened. And you're like, what?
They did have like a very big group, you know what I mean, starting off. And I'm like, did
Yeah, I'm like, there
this
needed to
big?
be less people at the start, and we needed to actually see the
Yeah,
like,
edit this
trials.
book, Catherine. Edit the book.
I will. Let me just call Sarah up.
This is so funny because I just finished my reread of Darker Shade of Magic, or the Shades of Magic series. And then the second book, I remember I was like, yes, I love the second book because of the competition. The competition only happens in the last like 25% of the book. I was so mad. I didn't remember. I was rereading it, didn't remember. I was like, yes, the second book competition, so excited. Here we go. No.
Like,
No.
don't say
low-key why I
something
stopped
is
that
based in
series, but it's
competition if you aren't going to actually show us the competition.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is like what Nikki's saying here. It's like it felt like a murder mystery. It literally was a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean when I
But
say
then
like
it
in
wouldn't
that last
fully
line.
commit to the murder mystery. Like,
No, it was like
murder
half and half.
mystery, but like she wasn't really investigating, and like there were too many POV. Hold on, let me tear this book apart for a second. There were too many POVs.
I like the multiple POVs, the fully omniscient POVs. I haven't read a book like that in a long time. Like I think the last book I read like that was Dune.
Oh, I was gonna say Six of Crows. Where what?
No.
Just bring it back to home base, you know?
Let me just
Yeah.
bring it back to the only thing I think about ever. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So there's too many POVs. No, just because like it's mostly Selena's POV, but then you get like random like intercuts, and it's all like them watching her.
Yeah.
It's never like them doing their own thing. And I'm like, if you're gonna have these other POVs, it should be them like not everything surrounding Selena then.
Right.
Like I want to see Kale like investigating these murders. I want to see Dorian like doing whatever Dorian does when he's hanging out in Selena's room. Does he have any?
I mean, you see a little bit of like Caltaine though with like Lord Parrington.
Yeah, you get Caltaine.
I like those
when she's like doing opium, but
Or
I also was like,
she's
why?
smoking.
But like, also, why is she included in this?
Right.
Because she didn't really feel that important.
I did like her a lot more this go round. I hated her the first time, but I liked her a lot this time.
I have my notes up right now.
Caltaine? Who?
Oh, Caltaine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she was important to the plot because she like poisoned Selena, and then basically, Parrington's like, it was her.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was really crazy.
I knew it was gonna happen, but I was like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, the second she's like, you told me this poison would work in front of the king, in front of all the like courtiers. I'm like, girl, you're stupid.
No, she's not stupid. She's just on opium. Okay, like she doesn't know what she's doing.
You are drugged out, like.
And like the king isn't there the whole freaking book. I'm like, this is all for you, sir, and you're not even there.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I was trying to see.
I'll also say, okay, I'm reading my notes now of things I wrote. I said,
there you go.
Selena's somehow both a girl's girl, but also not like other girls.
Yeah,
because she like makes a comment at the very beginning of like,
I don't have a lot of girlfriends.
Well, she like makes the I don't have a lot of girls, like I don't really get along with girls, but then she makes the comment of Caltaine seems like the type of girl who would like bring down other girls. Doesn't she know we're all in this together? I'm like, you also don't get along with other girls.
Yeah, I'm like,
pot kettle
for good reason.
And I was like, your two besties are two guys right now, and that's fine.
And they're both obsessed with you.
So that's fine, but you know, let's say what it is, okay?
Yeah. I also said, not you'll miss. Not her calling it you'll miss.
Yeah, and like Samhain, I think, is supposed to be like Halloween, you know, like that kind of thing.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah, silver seems to be a theme.
Silver.
Don't say anything, but silver, like the color silver, that seems to
Explain
be
that.
a theme.
Tell us.
And
With the dog Fleetfoot, and also with Kale's eyes, he has like a ring of silver around them.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, I highlighted it because I noticed it and I was like, ooh, interesting.
He's
Where
got a
was
ring of silver around his eyes.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
apparently by both of their reactions, I'm thinking silver isn't.
Maybe silver
actual
isn't a
plot point.
theme.
Is he a shapeshifter?
Oh,
I don't remember.
It's literally when he's like at the edge of the ring telling her to get up. She says she lifted her eyes to his face and found his gaze lined with silver.
Maybe
And
that's
get
his
up was all he
tears.
said.
His
Oh,
tears.
maybe that is tears.
I was like, yeah, that's
Silver.
the reflection of his little tears. I also think one thing you'll learn about Sarah J. Maas is I really enjoy the series. She is so fun, but man, does she love to use a lot of just adjectives, and she loves to
Well,
use descriptors.
strike out that theory.
No. I do think you have something there because she does talk about Fleet. I always want to say Fleetwood Mac. That's not the dog's
I
name.
was going to say Fleetfoot.
Fleetfoot. She does talk about Fleetfoot and the Fleetfoot's eyes. She was saying that the eyes are golden caramel, and she said the same thing about Kale before. So it's like, there could be some similarity there. Like, I'm not remembering. I can't confirm or deny if I did remember, but it is giving like other golden retriever energy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
The idea of her describing Fleetwood Mac and Kale as the same.
We're only going to refer to the dog as Fleetwood Mac now.
His name or her name is Fleetwood Mac, and that will be her name.
So good.
Does the dog die.com?
No. If the dog
What?
dies, I'm out.
This is all we
Eye
can
color
say.
is
Eye color
very
is actually very important in
important.
this series. Well, we know too, like Selena's got these like kind of like sea blue, sea green with like the thing of gold around the middle. So it's like we already know they've mentioned
Pale
that
and
five
she
thousand
has sea
times.
blue eyes.
Yeah.
It's so 2012.
It's so 2012, But like
Oh.
whatever. I'm eating it up.
I was gonna say I should like search like in my Kindle, except I do have the bind up, which is 5 million pages long.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a lot.
It would count every single one.
Mm-mm.
We do know.
Oh, we know.
She won't let us forget it. I think that's very like
No.
apparent. Like that's kind of what I was saying. Like Sarah J. Maas is letting us know what's going to be happening in this series. I think back in the day when I was like a new fantasy reader and I was reading this for the first time, I was like, "Wow, this is all so new. I don't know what's going to happen." But like now, I think because I've read,
How you used to talk?
yeah,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah, she's grown out of it.
wow, so boring.
I do think that Sarah J. Maas is the queen of foreshadowing.
Oh,
When
100%.
it comes to like the YA books, because now rereading them, especially, I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, she told us what was going to happen. Damn it! She told us what was going to happen. I'm upset, but I'm fine. Okay. Oh God. Yeah, but even going back, I'll say this. Like even going back to the Dorian thing where I was like, he probably has a really great character arc. On page 232, he's talking to Selena and he's kind of like, he's kind of like we'll say it, he's kind of like an F-ass, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't really take his job seriously, but he doesn't, not yet. He's not king yet. And she's saying to him, you're in a position where it's possible for you to change Aurelia for the better. You could help create a world where true love isn't needed to secure a happy ending.
Ka-chow.
Wow.
I'm reading that line and I'm like, wow. I just feel like the foreshadowing is all up in this book. So take that for what you will. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for us to experience this together.
I
will say also with Dorian, there's a good around Yulmus, which is stupid.
There's a what?
Around Villainous, I highlighted this quote where Selena says, "Everyone's kind on Villainous," and then a flash of what he could. A flash of what he could have sworn was pain shown in her eyes and was gone before he was certain of it. I don't know, a little like intuitive, because there's a couple times with that.
Yes.
I'm so scared for what y'all are going to think of the next book, but also excited that I can find another person who loves the second book. It's not my favorite book of all. Of what I've read, Queen of Shadows is my favorite book, but then it's Crown of Midnight.
Is that the fourth one?
Yeah.
Shadows. Okay. Yeah, because I think book 4 is the one that everybody's like, wow, this book is so good. And I think that's because it like cranks up at that point. It's the middle of the series. So.
Always hear Crown of
better crank out by then.
Yeah, I know.
Well, a lot of people really, I don't know that they like it, but they really enjoy, they say that if you are going to like this series, you'll know by book 3, because book 3 is where like, that's what the tone is for the rest of the series.
Yep, the tone definitely changes in that book. Okay. And I love it. I love it.
I mean, I don't love anyway, we'll get into it.
But I am excited to tandem read for the first time in life ever.
Oh,
book.
I'm excited to tandem read you.
I'm so excited to do that because when I first read this series, I had to read Tower of Dawn after Empire of Storms because that's how they came out. And I cannot wait to read like chapter to chapter. Like I think it's gonna make it so much better.
It's really so cool.
Yes, because I kind of low-key hated Tower of Dawn and I shouldn't. And like I'm a hater. I'll say it, okay? I will say it. But yeah, I'm ready to not hate that book because I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. And yeah. So yeah.
I feel like I'll need to have like the actual physical books to tandem read. I don't think I can.
For sure. Yeah.
That'll be hard. Yeah, Catherine, just go ahead and buy the box set from the special edition. Like, just go ahead. We all know who you
get it from the
are.
library. You can do that.
Just
a little library stand.
I mean, yeah.
It makes me feel so good, you know?
And this day and
the
age,
library people go to the library?
I do. Yes, I have a comfort stack of library books in my house at all times. But I also buy a lot of books. So it's like, you know, give and take.
I just got my New York public library card.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the
perfect first use for it. Okay.
I love that.
What? There was like 3 things at once.
I just said I love that.
Oh, thank you.
And Sarah's like, now you can use it.
Yeah. Oh, yes, now I can use it. And then what did Steph say?
Oh, I said it's one of the best library systems.
It's a good one because I can use that one, the Brooklyn one, and the Queens one. I get 3.
You have when I had the Brooklyn Public Library when you could still pay for it. Pretty much every time I needed an audiobook, it was there.
Yeah, Brooklyn has a good amount. Queens actually has a decent amount too, so it's nice.
Good. So then just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means. Is this a joke or is this real?
I don't know.
Did I get a Jay-Z card? No, I just got a library card. Did Jay-Z have his own themed library card?
Oh, no.
Wait, I have something to say. But like I could have missed something, but like I found a possible plot hole. But again, I could have missed something and like something was actually explained. Okay, so Selena is like the girl, like the moment, the assassin, right?
He is the assassin, yes.
Any room she goes into, you know, she checks out top to bottom, okay? And she does that when she gets to her room at this place, okay? And then she makes like a weapon out of freaking bobby pins or whatever. But she doesn't find the door to the portal until like 200 pages later in her room.
I hear what you're saying.
Like, how did she not notice it if she really checked it out top to bottom?
But didn't the portal not start to like
work.
be usable or work or whatever until the power that what's his name Kane was like absorbing, and then it was their key to opening that portal.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a portal. Wasn't it just a door behind a tapestry?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was like a door.
Yeah,
behind-
door that then led her to the portal
Right.
thing.
I think the only thing I can say
Wait, was
on
there a
that-
portal?
No, it was just like tunnels, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the
Tunnels
underground
sound
tunnels.
cooler.
Okay.
But she's right. Like, I mean, obviously, if the tapestry is moving because of the airflow, I think it's like a combination of everything. So, like, what Steph is saying is Kane is down in the dungeons doing some magic down there, because obviously she goes down there and she finds him, right? And he's down there with the red. I keep wanting to say rhetoric, whatever it's called, the rhetoric, whatever.
Rhetoric, yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
whatever, the monster. He's down there with the monster, controlling things, doing the word marks and stuff. So I think, like, at that point, like, maybe when she first got there, Kane got there, you know, he wasn't necessarily doing the word marks down there, so maybe that whole area had been undisturbed until he started going down into these, like, you know, tunnels into the tombs, you know, causing a muckus, you know, because she does say the first time she goes down there that the dust was undisturbed. Like, the dust had been undisturbed for however long.
But she doesn't discover the door, but I think what Sarah's saying, she doesn't discover the door behind the tapestry until like 200 pages.
No,
yeah,
I
but
see
I'm
what you're
saying she didn't discover it because there was no airflow. Like, the only reason is because the tapestry moves, and she's like, oh, well,
yeah,
that's
but
weird.
wouldn't you check
Yeah.
behind everything? Like, you're just not gonna move
As
the
an
tapestry. It's not
assassin.
like it's a
Yeah.
built-in bookshelf or something.
I mean, I do feel like what you'll learn, even in the second book, like what you'll learn is I don't actually know why she's the most feared assassin, because she's not very good at assassinating.
I think she was, like, back before she
Yeah.
went to the salt mines. So I'm giving lenience because I'm like, okay, she just came out of this place. She is still tired. She's still, like, malnourished.
Most said
Like,
she was exhausted.
she was exhausted. Maybe the door wasn't fully open. Like, you know, we're giving her a break. Okay,
Well,
she's
and
18.
I think
I'm
maybe
not
the door
giving
was
her a
like
break.
maybe the door was like behind the bed, because doesn't she like move the bed?
I thought that's
front of
also, I was going to say
it.
that too. Like, I thought it was behind the bed, which, because I remember reading that and being like, I would be so freaked out if somebody came in my room and they were, like, above me. You know what I mean? Like, behind. And I was like, hello. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know. She's probably just a teenage girl tired of living life, you know?
But like for somebody who's used to like nobody knowing, again, this could be my problem for reading Assassin's Blade first. But for somebody who like would never show people what she looked like, basically.
Yeah.
And like you had to be cautious of every room you walk into. And like make sure that nobody is observing you, nobody, like, nothing's happening.
Well,
it just seems very careless to me that like she wouldn't know there was I don't know. It just seems very like
I know it's
not
bothering
in
you,
character.
but I think she's not an assassin anymore. Like, I think that's the point. It's like that chapter, like this comment right here that Katie makes, like, her relationship with Sam and like her life as an assassin changes a lot because her morals start to change. Like, after Assassin's Blade, I think she goes, you know, we all know she goes to the salt mines, and like she's no longer the assassin. Like, she's an assassin, and that's why they pluck her, because they're like, we know your potential, we know you can be amazing. But like at that point, she is like a scrimp of a girl. You know what I mean? Like, she's barely hanging on in there.
Yeah, because she survived there a whole year when they said like the most anyone had survived was 4 months, but usually it was just a month.
Right.
Well,
and
yeah,
so no, go ahead, Steph.
Oh, I was gonna say, even when she's talking about being in the mines, she was like so set on the fact that she was gonna die. It almost felt like she wanted that to happen to her. She just didn't know how to like do that.
Well, and she admits that when they're talking about her going to the wall, because Dorian knows what that means, because she's like, it's like, you know, she says like it's 365 feet or like meters or blah 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 blah, and like usually people only make it 5 meters or whatever, and Dorian's listening to her, and she's like, in her brain, she's like, why is he not reacting to like what I'm saying? Because like I did something really amazing and cool. And then he responds back and he goes, so that you were doing a suicide mission.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when she was saying, like, this is what Katie's saying, like she tried to die when she escaped.
Yeah.
She knew she wanted to die. She wanted to. And so I think
it's so sad.
It is. It's so sad. Like literally,
Yeah.
it's like kind of like thinking about that and thinking about like she's not who she used to be. She's literally not that great of an assassin anymore. So I love that you brought this up, because I think a lot of people have this same kind of like thought process. They're like, oh, she's supposed to be some great assassin, like whatever. It's like she was really great. She was amazing, you know, and like granted, in Assassin's Blade, she does some stuff that I'm like, I don't know if a 17, 16-year-old girl could do all that, but like whatever, for like the fact of the story, whatever. But yeah, it's the beginning of like her kind of like change as a character, and I love to see it because she's realizing she doesn't want to kill people. She doesn't want to be an assassin. She wants to be free, and like we see that as she goes through the book, you know. And but it said she saw twins. I love that, you know.
I also think one of the things that I considered a lot, because I would joke too when I first read it about how she wasn't very good at being an assassin, and even the thing that Andrea talks about where she just eats the chocolate even though she doesn't know whose it is or who gave it to her. I still think that in the back of her mind, in one regard, that she would still be okay with dying, because she is still, in theory, so far away from freedom, even if she's in kind of more of a luxurious place than she was before. But on top of that, I also think I'm sure we get more of it. I can't remember. Her life was kind of at stake, right? I mean, because Arobin was controlling her at that point when she was being an assassin. And I feel like you're going to do your job really well if you think you're going to die at the end of it if you don't do it well. So I feel like now she's kind of like still okay with the idea of dying, and also still kind of has assassin instincts because of her past, but maybe it's not her priority to like make sure things are as secure, or she's doing those same things as in the past. But on top of what Christine and Katie were saying is that like now her priorities have also changed just generally in regards to being an assassin. That's
and the fact that like now she knows a way to escape, and the king knows that she knows. But he's like, I'm gonna add a stake for you, because he's like, I can see that maybe you don't care about your life, but I'm gonna kill Kale if you escape. So let that sink in. And like, she's still like she's putting him before her now, and like I'm curious to see like where that leads.
It's nice that you brought that up too, because like let's talk about the king very briefly. We like know about his magic and the stuff that he was doing, but like I kind of love this type of villain character because he's not Disney villain at all. Like Disney villain is the one that's like, well, I'll really mess you up at the end of this, you know, don't you do anything bad. But this man is like, he's going straight for the gut. He's like, I know who you are, and I'm not even going to pretend like I am not a serious villain, because I am literally the villain of this story. Like, I am the king. I have the power. I'm going to control you, and here's how I'm going to do it. And it's very much like to the point. Like, there's no fluffy villainness. Like, he is literally like, I will kill Kale, and I will control my son, and I will make your life miserable by killing your best friend, her brothers, her sisters, her mother, you know what I mean? And he just like goes straight for it, and he's like, and I will control you, because if you think that you're getting out of this, you're not, you know what I mean? And like that to me, like, I don't know why I just like love that kind of villain, because it makes you as the reader be like, well, how the hell is she gonna get out of this?
How is she
gonna get out?
Like, he really means what he says. He's not just like, he's not just being mean to be mean. Like, he can actually follow through with what
and that is a serious villain to me. Like, I know obviously this is book one, and like all these like different things happen like later on, but to me, I think that's a really great villain, because like they're just people, like his motivation is power. Like, he is a control freak.
Well, and he has a bigger mission too that we don't even fully know about, and so it's like, even though he can and will pull through with his threats, he also has something bigger that he's working towards. So he doesn't care who he hurts. He's just like, I gotta get there, and I don't care how I get there, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, even like his son, like he doesn't care really about like Dorian and like his feelings and things like that. Like he's like, you are here to serve me, and you know what I mean. So I really like that kind of villain, and I think it's hard sometimes in fantasy books to have, you know, a really good villain, because sometimes it's easy to just kind of, you know, write him off as like whatever, you know, the evil queen or the evil king, or like, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited to see the moment that he asks her to do something that she like does not want to do, but then she has to do it because she needs to protect her friends. Because I know that moment is going to come. And I'm excited to see it.
And that's, and I think that's why I like
in pain.
Yes. We need some angst. We need some stuff to happen. You know, that's what makes it like a serious book for me, because the stakes,
drama,
you know, like the drama, the stakes, like everything's high, you know, and she's got to make, like, that's what makes it like an adult book. Like they have these decisions that they make, and obviously this starts out as a YA series, so like, you know, whatever, but like they have these decisions that they have to make, and then they deal with the consequences. That's what makes, you know, an adult fantasy book or adult sci-fi or whatever. And yeah, kind of like going back to the part where she finds a way out of the castle and then decides to stay because she had started to care about the people, but said, you know, it was about having shelter training. She was like, yeah, I gotta pack for days. I'm imagining, you know, Donkey from Shrek, the little dragon from Mulan. Like he's like, yeah, I gotta pack for days. I gotta get my supplies. I forgot my lucky sword. You know what I mean? I gotta go back for that. I can't leave that. So like, I imagine that's like what she's like in this moment, because she's like, yeah, I got all these things. I gotta, you know, it takes time to leave, and she's right, it does. But also at the end of the day, she knows if she leaves, Nehemia's life is on the line. Like Kale's life is on the line. Like Dorian at some point. In that, and it's just nice to see where that character arc is going to go. I really like Selena. I'll say it. Maybe
I wonder if the poison, like, don't say anything, but like, I wonder if the poison guy comes back.
Knox.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, she like shows him, and then he like escapes, right?
Yeah, she literally was like, "You got to get out of here, or you." Yeah. You know, and he leaves that night. He said, "Say less, girl. We're friends."
Yeah.
You know,
I'd love to see him again. I liked him.
Yeah. I can't remember, to be honest. I cannot remember if something happens with him. So I don't know. But that is the kind of character I do like, where like you have this random character that's like a fun side character in the first one, and then they come back in like book 6, and you're like, bro, I missed you. Where were you? Where were you?
Like, hey, you remember me?
Yeah,
your buddy Knox.
You know, she's got to go to like the poison palace and get like the special poison or whatever, and you're like, Knox, the heck you been, bruh? Like,
crazy.
Yeah. So like I can't remember, but you know, hopefully we will see him again, and
that'd be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Anything else we should cover? Anything else we want to talk about? Any other characters? Things like that?
Let me just check.
I do have a question though about when we're gonna discuss Assassin's Blade, because we read it after book 3. Is it book 3?
I thought it was book 4.
Hold on, it's on my thing. It's on.
So I was like, are we gonna discuss it in like the book previous, and then discuss like Assassin's Blade after, or discuss it like at the forefront of the one? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So.
Oh, it's after book 3. Okay.
Yeah, Katie said
after
book 3 too.
Yeah, so it's after book 3. And I think like it's honestly, we can talk about it and like see, but I think it'd be fine to kind of talk about it for like when we talk about book 3. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
yeah, I'm down.
Like I'd be down to just kind of like do, you know, like a twofer, and we'll just be like, okay, we're talking about this right now, and then for the next part, we'll do this. It'll just kind of be like probably a little bit longer because I know a lot of stuff happens in book 3 too.
Yeah.
Is it more like the setup for book 4 because it's like the romantic reading order or whatever? Like it's more so it has an emotional impact. So like, should we discuss it
With
first
book
before
4?
book 4?
Yeah, no, I think we should discuss it low-key with book 3. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because the stuff that happens in book 3, the reason why you have to read it after book 3 is because of like the emotional kind of like things that happen in that book. So it gives you like the most like gut punch basically because of like kind of what's going on in Assassin's Blade and then also the turmoil that's going on in book 3. So I would think that we would talk about that together at the same time because then we can kind of compare and contrast.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of like what's going on. I'm trying to be like very vague, but like you get what I'm saying? Like the reason why we would discuss it is because the things that happen in book 3 is like that is central to Assassin's Blade.
That sounds good. I mean, I just didn't know if we were discussing like book 3 and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna just talk about Assassin's Blade. But I think like it makes more sense to kind of like discuss them both as one.
Together, and we can reference and be like, okay, this is from Assassin's Blade or like this is from Era of Fire.
So don't leave that until the day before. Good to know.
Yeah, definitely have that read. But Assassin's Blade is a very quick. It was a quick read for me, so I don't know if it's because it's all novellas or what, but for me, I just sped right through it. So
yeah, I read it faster than Throne of Glass. So
yeah, it was very fun. I liked that one too.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking for that kind of like live, and we can probably start that one a little bit earlier so we don't have to go as late, obviously. But yeah.
But next is Crown of Midnight.
Yeah, Crown of Midnight, Steph's favorite book-ish.
Of the 3 that I read, don't get that twisted. The 3 that I read.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to the end and we can all talk about our favorite book. The last book, because we're all gonna be crying. We're all gonna be crying together. It's gonna be great.
We'll see.
Yeah. But we'll be discussing.
I know you're gonna be crying, girl. Don't even try to play me.
I don't know. I'm still skeptical about this.
I was crying
after this first book. You cried?
Not in Throne of Glass.
In Assassin's Blade.
Yeah, you were. I know you were.
I was. Yeah, I was. I was
I'm
in my
weenie, okay? I'm a weenie for this story. It's gonna be great.
I was crying in Crown of Midnight, so I don't know if that does anything.
It's good. It's good, okay?
I was literally at work like okay.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you spend 7 books with these characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you get to a point where you're like, I'm sorry, what's happening right now? Like what's going on? And yeah, I think it's gonna be great. So anyway,
Crown of Midnight live show on the 8th of October.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we've got our little schedule here. If you guys are ever confused, you can go to the highlights on our Instagram, Rumi's Digest. We have them all there, the live show dates and like when you should be reading these books. Like technically, obviously you can read ahead, like that's fine. But yeah, the next live show is going to be for Crown of Midnight, which is book 2. That'll be on 10/8, which is October 8th. And
all the live shows will fall on a Sunday. So
yeah, they are all going to be Sundays, and we tried to do them. This is funny because Monique's like, I got to read it so soon. But like we are doing it on like a little bit of an expedited reading schedule because we're trying to get through them because obviously, the whole point of this is the new Crescent City book and kind of like all of the crossover references and things like that. So this is
Are we reading? I didn't figure out what what we're doing. We're doing Throne of Glass, and then are we doing the ACOTAR books?
ACOTAR. Yeah, we'll do ACOTAR, and then we'll do Crescent City.
Are we going to be done in time for Crescent City?
We're not going to be done. We're not going to be done in time for Crescent City.
When Christine and I were first talking about it, I was like, so a book a week, right? That'll lead us right to whatever. And she's like,
Yeah. And I said,
no.
Sarah, sweetie, not everybody is a fast reader like you, okay?
I might have to read ahead then, because I feel like I need to read.
I think if you have the urge to go ahead and read, I would say start sooner rather than later. Like, don't be like me who like waits until the week of, and then I'm like, yeah, I can read this book in 2 days. Like, no, especially not for Kingdom of Ash. Please, for the love of God, start that soon. But we did give like a little bit more time. I think we have the whole month to read Kingdom of Ash, because that one's in like 1,000 pages, something like that. So that's a big.
What does she have to say in 1,000 pages?
But Catherine, the Croissant City series is much larger.
It's not bigger. I think it's under 1,000 pages.
The first book is 800 pages.
Yeah.
I was like, they're give or take 200, give or take a novella.
But I've already read the first Crescent City, so
okay.
I'm not tripping with that one.
LOL. But yeah, so essentially, like the things that we can just talk about this while we're live, so it can kind of be like smashed out real quick. But we went up until the end of the year because we were like, okay, once the new year hits, we'll have a new schedule for ACOTAR. So essentially, this is just going to be the read-along schedule for the Throne of Glass. And then after that, we'll have the ACOTAR schedule. And then, because of course, she's still writing ACOTAR and she's still writing Crescent City. So, but yeah, we are trying to get it as close as possible. But also, these are big books. And we are trying to be, conscious of people who read a little bit slower or need a little bit more time.
Fair enough.
And yeah, what's funny is I didn't even know I did that just now, so I'll have to. That's one of my other personalities.
Yeah, it's the goblin mode coming out.
Yeah.
When I came on this live,
we do this, and
I came into the chat and I was like, "Hey guys," and they were like, "Calm it down. Like, what are you doing?"
I don't think
I'm so
excited.
No. I was just like randomly, I didn't even have this popped up, and I just hear someone yelling, and I was like, "What's going on?"
That's right. That's me. I'm here.
Katie, we're gonna do them all.
Yeah, we are. We're doing it all. It's a Maas-a-long, okay? So we're doing all the books in the Mass universe. And the reason why is because as we go through, we're gonna be building on the plots of each of these books and figuring out the mystery, figuring out, things from book one where we're talking about different avenues, different worlds, different things like that, okay? Because I'm on a mission to solve the mystery of the Maas-a-long.
I can't wait in like end of January to like go back to this live and be like, wow, I was so wrong about so many things.
But are you?
I'm a different person.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty spot on with this whole doppelganger theory.
I feel like I'm pretty spot on.
Everybody write down your predictions for each one, and then we'll come back and we'll be
let's do it in a sealed envelope. Let's put it in like a sealed envelope.
Absolutely.
And then we get to the end.
We'll mail it to Sarah J. Maas.
We'll mail it to Sarah J. Maas.
And we'll be like, guess what? There's 40,000 Maas-a-longs, but like this one, you've got to really open.
This one, no, we're gonna put it like tucked away somewhere. Like all your predictions of what will happen in the entire Throne of Glass series. This is more me and Sarah because and Steph, but you've already read it.
Yes. I will say I have forgotten a lot. Like I kind of low-key don't know what's happening in this next book. So
incredible. And then we'll at the end of Sarah is saying at the end of Crescent City we'll read them.
I think that would be so fun. I think we should do it because then I can guess because I've never read the Crescent City books and I
love
theories.
The Crescent City books. I say having only read one.
Well, I spoiled myself for the second one.
I spoiled something for myself too.
I haven't not looked at a single thing, y'all. All I know is that there's a murder in the first book, I think.
Yeah.
That's a heavy I think. I
just know that they're stunning books.
I know the new paperback.
Why did everybody
no,
go silent?
okay,
Like,
no, you're right. I have because I have the Fairy Lou and Neil limited editions.
they're stunning. I mean, I didn't think I would
I
ever
just heard that
read.
they are stunning
I
books.
didn't think I would ever read House of Earth and Blood. I just bought it because I was like, I need to add it to my collection, and I was low-key gonna unhaul it a couple of months ago. But
guys,
The
now,
new
I had-
Barnes and Noble editions are
I had
really
literally
pretty.
no like thoughts about Crescent City. I was like, I'm never gonna read this book.
Yeah.
And then they come out with book 3, and then they say that there's a POV from one other character, and I'm like, I'm buying it. It's mine. It will be my book.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Okay. Can I just say,
I don't know. Is
I
it a spoiler?
hate this
can you
thing.
say?
No, it's not a spoiler, but I do
Okay.
hate this thing where different, like, they'll
Editions.
come out with a book
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
different
yeah.
editions will have
Stupid.
different, like, chapters of, like, certain characters' POVs.
Yeah.
And, like, first of all, major spoiler with one of them. I won't say what it was, but, like, major spoiler. 2, like, you then either, like, I'm not going to buy, because they all look the same on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
buy books that look the same.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the
So-
store, rip out those chapters, and put them in my book.
There was actually a
I was going to
live
say
show-
illegally download them, but.
I'm gonna put them on a PDF file and then tape it into the back.
No, there are a couple of booktubers that actually like did a live where they discussed like that specifically, like
Mhm.
the outrage at like that happening within the
Yeah.
Definitely stupid. And you know that the POV chapters are not anything. It's like literally when you stay for the Marvel, like little like
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, this was fun to like watch, but like I didn't need that to know what's gonna happen in the next Marvel.
Except
you know?
sometimes there are things, because there was
Well, there's like
something-
there's like the first one that's like the funny one, and then the next one, the second one of the Marvel ones, is like the one that's actually important to the next one.
Yeah,
But, like,
so there's
I'm
like
talking, like,
some that are
hugely-
important, because that's what happened with the Akatar series. Was there was something that happened in a bonus chapter. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
I pitch that each of us buy a different edition so that we can swap.
Aren't there like
So what if we
6 of them?
annotate it and swap with it? Sorry.
Okay, wait, I know which one I want. I know which one I want, and no one can have it. Okay, it's mine, and I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
I already
until we-
know which one you want.
Yes, you do. And everyone's gonna read that bonus chapter, and everyone will annotate it. So it's gonna be going across the country.
Let me see what, because I'm pretty sure they're doing a. It's Bloomsbury, right?
How many
Yeah,
different editions are there? Is it 5?
I thought there were 5 or 6, but I
Yeah.
think it's 5.
Well, Mo
there's
can
like
get the other
If there's an
copy. And
indie
then
bookstore, I'm like, if there's an indie bookstore edition, I call dibs on that because I get a discount on that one.
I love that. I love that, and I support you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want the Walmart edition?
Yeah. Yes. And that's very on brand for me. Okay.
Yeah.
I am from the South. Let me be.
Okay, there is an indie. But I want the Target one.
wait, so how many are there? 5?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay, so Mo, you're still here. Get the other one.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you
So
know
wait,
that.
There's a Barnes and Noble. There's a Books-A-Million, which I don't think I have access to Books-A-Million. Do you have Books-A-Million near
I have
you?
Books A Million. Yeah.
Okay. I think Sarah should get the Books-A-Million one. There's
So then I'll
indie
get the
bookstores. And then there's a Target and there's a Walmart.
Wait, there's a what one, Steph? What did you say, Steph?
I said I can get the Barnes and Noble one then.
Okay.
That works.
I'll get 2. You know.
Mo said, huh?
Monique is getting what?
Mo gets the Target one, and
Honestly,
I
that's
get
on
the
brand.
bookstore
I was gonna say
one.
Target low key is Steph, but
I know. Well, Catherine said she wanted the Target one. Or are you gonna do the indie one?
I mean, I want the Target one, but I get a discount on the indie one.
Well, then get the indie one. I'll get the Target one. We can swap.
Oh my God, there we go.
Yeah.
I just got to use my discount.
can get the
You're
Barnes-
buying, yeah, get the Barnes and Noble of
And I'll
Crescent
get
City
Walmart.
3.
because Walmart's gonna be my girl.
Because I think they all look the same on the outside. That's
We
the
do.
stupid thing about this.
They
I'm like,
literally
if
all
they
look
looked different, I probably would buy all 5 because I'm crazy like
Yeah,
that.
you are. You really are.
You want to know how crazy I am? Can I
You
show
are
off
crazy
something real quick?
too. Mhm.
Can I show off something real quick?
I don't even want to see it. What is it? Den of Vipers?
No.
It's credence.
We're in the roller chair.
Look what I bought.
Oh,
Oh.
my
What edition is that?
God. Wait
What
a
edition
minute.
is that?
This is the Owlcrate edition.
Oh, I'm so mad I didn't
Is
get
it
that
just
one.
naked like that, or was there actual?
This is the naked cover, but I don't really like the dust jacket. I can get it.
I'm so mad I didn't get
Rolls
the
away.
off-crate edition because it looks so good.
Rolls away, rolls back.
God.
My lonesome self relies heavily on the Tumblr
Listen.
stories to post photos of the bonus content.
I'm not saying we're gonna do this, but if you're in the
Oh, I love
Discord,
the colors.
screenshots might get posted there.
And it's reversible. Ready? Ready? Ba-bam.
Ka-chow.
Stunning. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. You've
Yeah.
got character art. Hold on. Now y'all know that this is my thing.
Oh, it looks so
Yeah.
good.
That looks
But I took
so
it off
good.
because I was like, I like.
I have like
This is what
4
I got it
editions
for.
of that book already.
I don't even know what this book is. I mean, like I know Olivia Blake, but like I haven't read this book, so I'll
It's
Yeah,
just-
me
good.
neither. And I bought the special edition of it.
Highly
because I thought it was
recommend
pretty.
reading it while listening to Hosier. Like that's the vibe.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
will
it's
take
signed.
your
Ooh, I like that
Yum.
title page.
Masters of
Mo,
Death.
the book
Like I gotta
talking
get
about.
into this. I gotta read Olivia Blake. Okay, maybe I'll just do a little vloggy poo. The book that we were talking about that you're gonna be buying, Monique, is Crescent City 3, if that's what you're asking here. Honestly, we're all lost, Katie. So
We're all a little lost.
We've derailed from the
yeah,
conversation.
we've derailed. We're now in friend territory when we started talking about swapping books.
Yeah.
We're not talking
turned
about Throne of Glass
into-
anymore.
This turned into a live FaceTime.
Yeah, this should have been an in-stream moment where we're just talking in the back, but it's fine. The title of the book for book 3, you say, haha, Crescent City 3. That's what it is. House of
House of
something.
Flame and Shadow, right?
Oh my god, book 3 is gonna be my thing. I already know it. Oh god.
You haven't even read the first 2.
I just know it.
Listen,
just know.
Bryce's high key like my favorite SJM heroine
That's perfect.
so far. I love her.
That's perfect. Honestly, I don't know. Sarah J. Maas gets a lot of hate, but I mean, it.
Cinnamon shadows.
I like that it said Shadwows.
Shadows.
Cinnamon Fleetwood Mac and Cinnamon Shadows.
Anyway, all right.
We should
we're
end
gonna
this.
go. We're gonna go. So October 8th, join us for the second book, Crown of Midnight. And feel free, as I said, to read at your own pace. I've read Crescent City 1 and 2, and I concur Crescent City 3 might be Christine's favorite thing. Thank you, Ash, for confirming because we know I'm gonna be crazy. But yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Join us there. It'll probably be around the same time for this next one, and then as we get into the bigger books, because they do get bigger as we go farther along in Throne of Glass, we'll probably maybe try and schedule them a little bit earlier, just so our East Coast peeps cannot be up so late. But yeah, any last final questions, comments, concerns, poetry? Anybody in the chat want to say anything? Speak now or forever hold your peace until October 8th.
I'll say my last thing.
Okay.
It's a confession.
Okay.
Low-key had no idea what was going on with Elena at the end there. There was just a lot of talking, and I was like, I don't really care.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Just drop that bomb towards the end.
I really just don't care about Selena. She's a
No, not
No,
Elena.
Oh, Elena.
She came in and she's like, this is your destiny and you have to protect people, and I'm going to hint at things without really saying anything that would like actually help you. And you're like, okay, cool, whatever, ghost woman. That's my final thoughts.
I agree. The Elena plotline, I was going to say this earlier, but the ghosts plotline, all that kind of stuff, I was kind of like, ooh, this is a bunch of woo-woo. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but, you know, it'll get it hopefully explained later on. So, there you go. That's it. Anything? Anything? All right. Okay. Everywhere you look, everywhere the heart is the heart. I've hit it all onto. Everywhere you look, not that one. Oh, somebody who loves you. Okay, guys, that's it. We're ending the stream. Thanks so much for
Wait. We have to wait for the 2-hour mark. Almost there. So close.
Wait, but you have to go 5 seconds over because it'll like.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And now.
Okay, so back to my ending spiel. Follow all these lovely people. Obviously, they're amazing content creators. You know, do me a solid as a friend of me. Go to their pages. Make sure you subscribe. Watch their most recent video. Comment something genuine, something lovely.
We're sprints, not videos.
What?
I don't post videos. Go watch my sprints.
Okay. You know, Sarah does Sunday sprints every
I sometimes
Sunday.
post videos, maybe.
There you go.
Every like 6 months.
You guys, okay. Everybody makes content, so we can all say that. Anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, as a personal favor, do that for me. Thank you very much. Thank you guys all for being here. We love to see you. We can't wait to talk about this. Obviously, we're all excited. You know, love.
Sorry, I was aggressive. Okay, anyways, bye.
Bye.
Bye.